What's up, y'all? It's Christy.
I'm Courtney.
And I'm Rashana, and we are the 1000 Club. And we're remixing it today because we are here with our VIP, I guess, popping some bottles, Mumbo Sauce on everything. We got Quick and Reg here. So we're really excited. Welcome to the club.
What's going on, ladies?
So since we have y'all here, let's take a second to do some introductions, and we'll start with Mumbo Sauce on everything.
So this is Reg, Mumbo Sauce on everything, entrepreneur, here with my boy Quick. We're grateful to be in the VIP section. Ain't seen a VIP in a minute.
So grateful. We appreciate y'all letting some dudes like us slide VIP with y'all, you know. Because hey,
you're welcome.
Thank you. I don't know if enough people have told you thank you to be allowed in VIP. I've stood outside those ropes many of nights wishing I can come in. Now I'm in. So everybody, I'm Quick from Mumbo Sauce on everything. You know, we're just happy to be here with you all and hope we can have a great show.
Awesome. I'll go next. I'm Rashana. I am Stay Lit, 1/3 of the 1000 Club podcast. Really happy to also be in VIP. I brought my Mumbo Sauce. What is this called? Capital City Mumbo Sauce. And I got my Chocolate City. I can't show y'all the full shirt because y'all know I be party on the top and, you know, indisposed on the bottom. But very happy to be here. Very happy to be here with y'all today.
Awesome. And I am Courtney, also 1/3 of 1000 Club. I am came lit because I always come to the party ready to turn up, and I'm already lit when I get there. I'm in New Jersey, and I just have some iced coffee. I don't really got no sauce and no shirt, but I'm here.
And it is Christy, aka Always Lit, also of the 1000 Club. I am originally from the DMV, so I am happy to have Mumbo Sauce on everything here because I miss Mumbo Sauce. I live in Chicago. Our listeners know I'm from Chicago. Well, I live in Chicago, and we have mild sauce, and it's not like Mumbo Sauce. It's a little similar, so I miss it. But yeah, happy to have y'all here in the VIP section.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think I recently saw a picture of somebody post something from Chicago, like a box of chicken with some fries with red sauce on. I was like, what is that? So is that what is mild sauce red?
Yeah, it's red. I mean, it's very similar to Mumbo Sauce. You know how like everybody got a little different Mumbo Sauce in the DMV. Right. Everybody has different mild sauce here. So it reminds me of Mumbo Sauce, but it's not quite it.
Not the one we had.
It don't remind you of Mumbo Sauce?
Not the one we had. I mean, Courtney, do you think the one we had? I don't know where we got it from.
What sauce did we have?
The Mumbo Sauce when we had the chicken.
The mild sauce from Harold's
chicken.
You know, okay, can I just be very honest with y'all right now? Don't judge me, okay? Nobody judge me on this damn podcast, and nobody
don't like Mumbo Sauce.
I ain't never had Mumbo Sauce.
What?
I don't think I've ever had Mumbo Sauce.
Wait a minute. Can you even be here right now if you haven't?
We gotta judge you on that. But you know what? That's because when Courtney lived here, she wanted to be frou-frou. She wanted to live all up in, you know, the Bethesdas, you know what I mean? So she wasn't like near the little curry outs and all that.
If I ever had it, I didn't know that it was on whatever I was eating. So
have you been to a carry out?
Yeah.
What'd you have at the carry out?
I don't know.
Wait, was the carry out like what was the carry out selling? Was it like the Chinese carry out? Like
her carry out was selling sushi. Don't
right. So you can go to a real carry out.
No, I've been to a real carry out with you before, and wherever you have taken me, I've eaten. So if they sell chicken with mumbo sauce on it, I've had it. I just ain't know that
Oh.
was eating that.
Next
But
time
if
you're
it
in
didn't
the
taste
DMV,
like
you gotta
ketchup
say it.
or hot sauce.
Yeah, I like the spicy kind. This is like the sweet hot. I don't know if this is real mumbo sauce. I got this from the store, so y'all got to tell me if this.
That's close enough. That's close enough.
Legit.
That's about as close as you're gonna get, unless you make your own. But now you going, Courtney, you'll know if you had some. Mumbo sauce isn't one of those things that you have and you just like oh, if I had it, I had it. Now you'll know you had it because you was like that's all right. It's almost like eating Chick-fil-A sauce for the first time. Like if you liked it, you like, oh, I said this all right. You know what I mean? It's one of those things that it kind of hits you over and over. So it's definitely a staple, in the DMV. But
I've never had Chick-fil-A sauce. That's how you know I'm from here. I put Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich.
Shit, if they gave you mumbo sauce to put on it, probably would put some of that on it.
But I think their Polynesian sauce is kind of like the mumbo.
It's close, but clearly the reason they got Polynesian sauce is because they've had some mumbo sauce before.
I actually like
everything from the mumbo sauce.
but you know what else? You know what else you all introduced me to here is Old Bay wings. I had never had Old Bay wings until I came here, and now I'm like, I don't even know what life was like before I had Old Bay wings. Like that Old Bay wings and Old Bay on fries with a little mumbo sauce. That hits for me right there.
See, y'all heard her. Y'all heard it when she slapped the table right there, right? That's how you know it's real.
Yes.
She couldn't even stop herself from slapping the table right there. Hey, look, I remember. Hey, this is a quick story. I went up to Baltimore one time, and I think I was going like to Randallstown, if I'm not mistaken. And there's an Old Bay factory. You can start smelling it on the highway. I was like, bruh. I just wanted crabs instantly. Like just imagine driving and the aroma of Old Bay just starts coming through your air conditioning.
I don't know if I would like that, but it sounds like it's an experience.
I'd probably be hungry. Wait, so also to clear up, because you said Baltimore. Is Baltimore a part of the DMV? I've seen this conversation going on my Facebook timeline.
No.
Nah.
Hard no. No disrespect to Baltimore, but no.
Nah. When people ask me where I'm from here, I'm like, I say DC because if I say Maryland, they're going to think Baltimore. And I know nothing about Baltimore except for the harbor. So yeah, like it's not the same.
They know they're not DMV. Right.
I told people that I feel like if you're not on the metro line, that to me is not the DMV.
Right. Nobody asks, is Richmond in the DMV? Like it's already known that it's not. So I only know why people ask about Baltimore. That's like asking, is Frostburg in the DMV?
Nah. I did see someone in that conversation was actually from Richmond and saying that because it's still considered somewhat northern, that they
that ain't northern Virginia.
Called them out, but
Right. Nah, Richmond is its own RVA. That's what they call it. That's its own place. Baltimore has its own culture. The DMV has its own culture. It is not the same.
Absolutely.
Just wanted to clear that up. Thanks, y'all. He said.
Clear.
Clarity. That's all we need is clear.
But yeah, me and Quick, we get into it. We know we guys, so we don't like. I noticed I listened to the show, and I'm like, damn, they really care about how each other's week went, and I learned that today. I'm like, we don't care about each other. Quick, we don't really care. We don't hop right into it.
Is that a man thing?
That's a man thing.
Can I just say, I listened to y'all podcast before, and I just love how y'all are like so frank with each other. Y'all like don't hold nothing back. I think, I don't know. I guess when we discuss, we voice our opinions and everything, but y'all really get into it in y'all discussions. So I love that.
Yeah, I know we've had questions of have we thrown blows during podcasts before. We ain't never get to the point where we fought. But honestly, Reg has left the house and I was like,
I was gonna say I didn't want to say that it sounds like y'all be like arguing
nah.
back and forth with each other, but I definitely been like, oh,
Nah,
okay,
no,
it's getting a
we
little
definitely
heated.
argue. It continues on sometimes after the podcast, but you at the end of the podcast, normally the middle, and it just works out that way. The middle of the podcast is the heated part, and then we get to the end, and it's like we on to the next topic. We gonna agree to disagree most times, but he know how to see. I think what it is.
I already know what he's trying to say. He's trying to
No,
yeah.
he'll say one little thing just because he know I'm gonna go off.
See, and this is my thing. I'm not.
That sound right.
He swear I be trying to push his buttons. I don't even be pushing his buttons. Well, I push his buttons, but I'll literally ask a question for clarity, like, bruh, so you telling me boom, 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 and it be like, boo, yeah, nigga. like, all right.
Wait, so are y'all friends? I mean, I know y'all are cool, but did y'all were y'all friends prior to the podcast?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've I think the first time I may have seen Reg was like what 2002, 2001 maybe.
Probably.
But
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
but we've been boys for over at least a decade, like over a decade and like a half probably, from late teenage years to now. So yeah, we've been rolling tight for a long time. Just so happens at the beginning of the pandemic, I had aspirations to start a podcast, and sometimes you can get the butterflies in the way. So I pitched it off to Reg to be like a political correspondent or somebody who comes on periodically, to speak about politics. But it just turned into let's just do this together, and we've been rocking for a while. I think, if I'm not mistaken, put out the last episode. I think we were on like episode 47 or something crazy like that. So,
We got a ways to catch up.
Go.
our 1 year anniversary. What, Reg? Like a couple weeks ago I think.
Congratulations, y'all.
Yay. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all for the 1 year anniversary.
So we say I'm a big political. It's like more than sports, football, more than football, basketball, anything else. I'm into politics. So it was really just gonna be Quick's podcast, and then we just, like you said, to get the butterflies out. We just one day we just did it on a phone. I think it was a phone or a tablet. We just did it every week, and just built on that, and intros and music and drops and so now we got it to a point where we rocking and rolling. But I like what y'all doing too. The video aspect, I was studying y'all for a little bit because I'm like, that's where it get to eventually. So I definitely.
All right.
Yeah, that adds another layer. Speaking of video, I'm sorry, I know this is so random, but y'all notice like my face is looking a little slimmer. Do y'all, no? I've been working out for a week, but I'm
okay.
Yes.
Yes.
I feel like I'm seeing a little cut, Okay, that's all.
Okay.
Since you brought up video, I'm over here, I'm that person on the Zoom that's like so busy staring at myself. I'm like,
Same. I'm focused on my little box.
Right. Everybody on the camera like this. Nobody looking in the middle of the camera. No, which it happens. It happens. I wanted to kind of run something by y'all to see if y'all heard about it. I know right now that only Rashana lives in the DMV, if I'm not mistaken. But me and Reg do as well. And there was a big legislation that just went out. This type of stuff that we talk about on our podcast, just to kind of kick it off. But there's a landmark police legislation that just went out that changed the Bill of Rights for police officers in the state of Maryland, which is the first one first one in the country to kind of change it. And basically, police are going to be held more accountable to their actions. They have to, I think the biggest change was they have to go by extreme measures to not harm individuals that they try to detain or arrest. So it kind of it speaks to that whole police brutality. And if you do overstep your bounds, you know, you can face up to 10 years imprisonment. Just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on it, and you know, just give a praise to Maryland's government, because they kind of overstep. We have a Republican governor, but a Democratic voting state. You know, we're a true purple state. So it's just a place where the governor didn't want this to go past, and you know, us as a state, the legislation kind of passed his veto. So I'm just bringing that to everyone, you know, that's listening. If you from our area, we know a lot of our listeners are from the DMV. Just let your areas know that this could possibly be coming to, you know, a state near you. Maryland's just kind of the kickoff point. But you know, how do you all feel about that new legislation that just passed? I think in the past either hours or the past days. I saw them talking about it on the 10th.
I don't live in Maryland, so I didn't hear about it. But it sounds like it could be groundbreaking, depending on, you know, the implementation. Fuck, I can't talk.
You saying implication or you saying implementation?
Yes, I can't talk. The implications of it and how it is you know, held to standard. But I definitely want to read more on it, because I didn't know about that.
Yeah, and I didn't even know, and I actually live here in Maryland, so I'm actually disappointed to admit that. But I've literally just stopped watching the news because it's a lot. But like Courtney said, I think that is groundbreaking, especially, you know, given today, where many of us are still learning about the news of Dante. And I forget his last name, so I'm really sorry about that.
Right.
It's what?
Dante Wright.
Yeah, Dante Wright, right? Right,
Mhm.
right, yeah. You know, it's clearly something that's needed, because I really think police have to know that there are going to be consequences for their actions, which may make them think twice. And I hope that thinking twice ultimately, you know, helps them, lets them use funding in different ways. You know, I am an advocate for defunding the police. That's Rashana Roach speaking. But yeah, I am an advocate for that, because you need to put resources somewhere else. And I think having this sort of consequence will allow them to think about different ways that they can de-escalate situations that are within reason.
Yeah, I really didn't read into it. I did get a news alert, because I still get DMV news alerts, but I didn't read into it. But I'm hoping that other states follow suit. And I think this just goes to show, like Darian said, even though there's a Republican governor, it's a Democratic like legislation. And that just goes to show, like, voting matters. Get out there and vote, because you know, these type of changes can be made within your, you know, your local municipality, your city, all the way to the state level. And so I think that, like you all said, it's groundbreaking that they were able to do that. I hope that this could get done at other states, especially like Rashana mentioned, when you have Dwayne Wright, Dwayne Wright, I'm sorry. Yesterday, because we're recording, this happened yesterday, who, you know, hopefully we will see justice from this. They're saying that it was a mistake, that the officer mistakenly grabbed the gun instead of the taser. But she was a seasoned officer, so we'll see what comes of that investigation. But, you know, we just hear these stories far too much, and these officers need to be held accountable for their actions. You know, like I just started watching the Chauvin trial last week, and I'm really hoping that he will end up, you know, getting charged with all of the charges that they're trying to convict him with. I'm really hoping like the prosecution, I think they did an excellent job with making their case. The defense started today. I think they got some holes. So I'm really hoping that, he'll get convicted on all of the charges. But I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, these officers need to be held accountable for what they're doing.
Does this new law target what is it called? Qualified immunity or something like that officers get, when certain things happen, they kind of like, it's like a labor law enforcement officer bill or something like that. I haven't read on it, but do you guys know if that is something that's mentioned?
It repealed the Bill of Rights for the police, which is a statewide thing. I know that in the city of New York, and one other place that I can't remember, they repealed the immunity. But I think I'm assuming it's the same thing where it's basically shortening the burden of proof, which has always been an issue. So the burden of proof always rests on the victim to prove that the police stepped way outside a civil right. Where now in the state of Maryland, you can, if it's deemed, that excessive force was used, you could be criminally prosecuted. So now there's a line that has to be, now it's on the police department to create the guidelines that they have to follow, because if they can statewide over the next 4 years, that sort of thing. Whereas now it's going to create a line to say, hey, you stepped over the line, now you could be potentially criminally prosecuted, versus the other way around. And that's generally why in most states the police never get convicted, because the burden of proof is so high. And I remember we had some officers on an episode on Mumbo Sauce and Everything when Ahmaud Arbery and George Floyd was killed. We actually called 2 officers or 3, I can't remember, quickly remember. I know it was at least 2 officers, 3 officers we spoke to. And one of the officers who was, lifelong, I believe his attentions were well, but one of the explanations he gave us at that time, just comply, do X, Y, and Z, because you don't know what type of day the officer's going to be having. And he said that with good intentions. But I sat back and I let him get that off as a police officer. I didn't want to bash him or make him feel less than at the time. But in my mind, I'm like, why do we have to do that? Just because that person is having a bad day. If I don't do everything perfect, like if I don't have something in my mirror, like the young man Mr. Right, or if my tail light is out, if I don't do everything perfect and that officer having a bad day, I can either get injured at minimum, or at maximum, unfortunately, lose my life. That's ridiculous. So, it puts the more burden on the people who have the power to take life, which I've always thought is, you got the power to take a life. So and I said on the previous episode, don't be a police officer. It's very easy to say, because I'm not a police officer. I don't know, every day it is a dangerous job. Going into that though, if you're going to be a police officer, understand that the responsibility of life that you have, and if you want to take on that responsibility, I think it should be on the upfront. Don't even go through the training, if you're not going to take on that responsibility.
Right.
Yeah, I also saw that I'm reading about it now, that it vetoed no knock warrants, which I think is really cool, especially because a lot of
Not all the way though.
Not all the way.
No, they only can serve no knock warrants during the daylight. They can't do no knock warrants at night anymore. Only in extreme circumstances can they do them at night. That's how they switched it up. So they can do them. You just have to do them during the day.
Yeah, I'm wondering too. Like, I don't know all the specifics, but I was specifically thinking about Breonna's law that is coming out of the Breonna Taylor case, but they're really trying to get the local states. They're trying to get states to utilize that legislation to actually just do away with no knock warrants. So yeah, I think this is a step in the right direction. I'm not sure if they have like limitations in terms of like the time of day or anything for her for her bill, the Breonna bill.
Right.
But it looks like this is definitely groundbreaking. I just saw something too that Maryland was the first state to actually do the to put into legislation the 1974 Bill of Police Law Enforcement. And so for us to also just make the change too, I think that's that just speaks to what we can do.
Yeah. And definitely, and if anybody's watching or listening right now, if you all want to give that episode a listen that Reg was talking about, is on our platform. You can find us anywhere. But the episode is called "Black and Blue Officers Share the Sauce." So definitely go give it a listen. It was a great talk because we were really high on emotions at the time about how we felt about the situation with like you said, Ahmaud Arbery and George Floyd at the time, and to speak to officers who, for me, it was guys who I personally know, who I go to in situations and times like this to try to get an understanding, because you want to know like how somebody else feels about it. Just like if something happens with Black men, we'll have people in our community or folks in our circle who isn't a Black man, women or white men or any culture, call and ask, hey, what do you think about this situation? How do you feel about it? And I get to express how I feel. So talking to them and understanding how they view the situation, and even listening for somebody to explain how they think we're supposed to survive a police encounter, and that was one thing that always was tough on me and Reg talking about it, is not only do we have to raise our kids to survive police encounters, but they have to understand that it is different than what the TV is going to show you, is different than what some of your classmates may have to deal with if they don't look like you. So but that's one thing in our country that's consistent across the nation. It doesn't matter where you're at. You're a Black man, you're a Black woman, you're treated pretty consistently across this nation, no matter what state you're in. So I think having that conversation was big. And I really applaud my state for, taking this movement and this motion and actually doing this, regardless of how the governor sees it. And, like Christy said, that's one thing we pushed for the past year, is make sure you get out and vote. Make sure you get out and vote. And like we always said, voting for the presidency is cool, but voting for your local constituents is always key. And if that's one thing that I know we pushed it really hard. If people at least listen to that, you can see from just us alone in Maryland, it made a huge change. Like that's a big change. Crazy enough, it was just a situation down in Virginia with a military officer, getting pepper sprayed by a police officer who was the second on the scene, and I'm sure you all have seen the video. And, honestly, what more can he do? The guy stuck his hands out the window like, I'm scared. And the officer tell him, you should be. And what's crazy is when me as a Black man, I tell somebody, they're like, nah, you a big dude. Man, you big dude. What you scared of?
That's why you need to be scared. Because,
dying. Like,
yeah, we already know, like, it's not even just being Black. It's also when you have height and stature, like, that makes you a bigger risk.
The beard, the beard, it makes them, it just makes people feel scared. And it's weird because other races and other communities, you do things because it makes you feel powerful. Like having a beard, having, like when women have their long or luxurious natural hair, or even no matter if they have just long hair, if they have short hair, they always do these things. People say like power cuts, power tie. You're feeling this way, but then somebody sees it and they look at it as a threat. You're like, damn, I thought I was just, making my inner self feel a certain way. But those little things in our community can get us harmed, versus another community, it get them a promotion or something. And it's like, it's weird. It's weird. But
yeah, I was
my rant.
Autumn Joy. She's a radio DJ here. And today she was she had people calling in talking about, their feelings about Dante Wright, and if, like, we feel that the police officer, she was a white woman, if she knew, is the lead of like the police force there, and like a club. She's been on the force for 26 years. If she knowingly made this accident, because that's the word, right? I think that's the exact word, accident. And just really listening to her, she got emotional. And I was just like, after watching the military officer in Virginia and thinking about Dante, who might have possibly like seen that video, right? Like how scared you are, like, like even like if when a police officer pulls you over, like, and how scared he was that he wanted to jump back in the car. Like he literally wanted to put some sort of buffer, between him and law enforcement. And so that also is hard because there were older Black men calling in, one in particular who was saying like, we have to take accountability because he shouldn't have jumped in the car. He should have just allowed himself to get arrested, like really trying to speak to that, like just do as they say so you can survive another day. And that was just really hard to listen to because I can only imagine at 20 years old, with everything going on, like I don't know what I would do even now, at 31, like what, because you are so scared, and you don't know if you're going to come out alive. And so you're literally just thinking about ways to be able to do that. And also, also to know that I know people are saying that it was over air freshener, but what we also learned is that the warrants were for unpaid parking tickets. So that also just
and it's a
that,
pandemic, and like the DMV will allow you to pay them late in a pandemic.
And I'm gonna lie, in DC, I done been in that situation, especially living in this area. But I just it's sad to know that his life is gone because of an air freshener and unpaid parking tickets. Like that.
None of it is a death sentence.
I hope you speak to white women's fear of Black men too, Reggie, while you're talking, because that's the other piece that we're not talking about that we really need to get to. Okay.
And I was going to say really quickly, Reg, before you jump in, I was going to say it'll be interesting how this is handled, because usually we see white men on the other side of this, and now this is a white woman who is on the other side of this. And interestingly enough, she resigned, which you don't normally see happen immediately.
So she's not on administrative leave?
No, they said that she resigned.
Oh, okay.
That's what the news outlets are saying, that she actually resigned.
But can I just say, it just happened today. I feel like she should have immediately resigned yesterday when it happened.
But I
feel like they made her resign.
Yeah, but I think even that, you can even tell the gender breakdown of that too. Like, it'll be interesting to see how they talk about that. But I think it's a good point to bring up white women's fear of Black men too, because that's something we also rarely ever talk about.
And they're going to try to protect her. I think so. But I think
the president.
Yeah, they're going to try to protect her.
He's the president of their police union there. The president of the union, 26-year vet. So she like, yeah, I'm gonna quit, and yeah, the taxpayer's gonna pay my pension. The police chief over there quit too. I don't know what his tenure was, if it was longer than hers, but that's the thing. And that's this is a major step forward in Maryland. But until real punitive damages go, you forfeit because you hold that power of life. And if you overstep that line or you misjudge, even if it was an accident, which I don't think it was, I feel like just looking at it, I've seen a taser, a police taser, and a gun. They're not even shaped the same. They're not even on the same side of your holster. One is on one side, the other one's on the other side. So you got to know where that's 26-year vet. If the fear took you over, like even if we want to go down that road, okay, you got scared of that Black man. You shouldn't, police officer. It's two of y'all, it's one of him. You've been trained and he looked like he was no bigger. Now I'm a skinny person. He looks slimmer than me. You know what I mean? So I'm like, y'all couldn't both get him without pulling out any taser. It's no way that y'all can get him and restrain him without pulling out no weapon. Like that's where I get to. So that's, to me, is an overstepping. And I'm glad like somewhere like here that will be dealt with differently. But in Minnesota, I don't know.
Yeah, especially 2 miles from where there is a white officer who actually feels like he has some sort of saving grace, which is just like, And that's the scary part. The fact that we don't know. He might, like that's crazy that the whole world could literally watch you murder this man. Like,
that's the crazy thing. No one
and
wants
you
to.
still have the audacity, which and the system is there to back you up, to give you that audacity, because we don't know. We don't know. But I think I do agree, Reg. I think she pulled that gun because she was scared. And when you're scared, you're going to grab the first thing that you can grab that you know is going to take this down. And that is exactly what she did. She grabbed that gun out of fear because she was trying to take whatever threat she thought down.
So nobody's calling it what it is. And it's literally like terrorism, and it's like having PTSD. So I can vividly remember being in the 10th grade when 9/11 happened and watching the second plane crash into the building. If I would have got home and I would have saw the news and they would have said, hey, this happened, there was a plane that crashed to a building in New York, I would have been like, dang, that's crazy. And I would have went on about my day because I was a kid. But because the news was cut on and they live streamed it, which I'm sure that was planned by, the folks that carried it out. Like, I want the world to see this. So not only as a community do we see our people being killed. First, we used to hear about it. Now we see it, and we see it often enough to where it brings a sense of, fear in us. And you expect for all that to come in and then have an encounter with the person who looks exactly like the guy who did the killing. And we're supposed to be okay. And what's crazy is it's done on the opposite side as well. Like we talk about white women's fear of black men. They have that same fear because we're predatorized or we're made to look like we're some type of evil demon on the news, to where you should be scared of black men. That's how they're portrayed in movies. That's how they're portrayed in everything, soap operas, so it's not, I know a lot of people try to put it on music videos and what's being said in music songs and all that, but honestly, the media makes us look like we're in this country just randomly killing folks, and everybody should be scared of just the black dude walking down the street. And we've been having this conversation for a very long time. That was the whole conversation when Trayvon Martin got killed. A young man with a hood on his head with a can of soda and Skittles. And it's like, we keep going in circles with this. That's why I said I'm proud of my state for at least trying something different. Like, we're trying something new. That's huge. So this is just one of those things where, yeah, we praying for the outcome to be different, but for us to honestly think the outcome is going to be different, we may have to consider ourselves slightly crazy, because we've seen this story ran over and over and over. And if the outcome is the same, we expect the same thing to happen, but it's like, what are we going to do different? Because that becomes almost the cry. It's like, I don't know what we can do different besides, the extreme. And it's weird because you're always taught, don't fight fire with fire. Don't fight violence with violence. But it's like to keep walking away and to keep having people just gunned down, or for whatever reason, for fear or not, if the people who we deem as our protectors are the ones killing us, plus the people who killing us, shit, who is really the evil person here? It's like, I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't.
At some point, you just want to give them something to fear. Like, all I tell people is, if you're gonna go out there and you're gonna riot and you're gonna loot, go to their neighborhood. Okay, go to their neighborhood. Make them have to come to your Target in your neighborhood and see how you don't got a parking lot, or there's all types of activity and things in front. Make them come shop at your stores. Go up there to their neighborhood and cause a riot. Don't let them sleep. That's my only thing. Take the walk over the bridge, wherever you got to go, to train tracks.
Right.
But you take the noise to them.
That's where redlining come in. That's why they don't let folks live in them communities. because when you do something to them, there's a distance between. That's why folks can sleep comfortably at night, because there's a distance between them and the people that they deem as people who can't afford to live in my area. Let's just raise the price. We'll get them out. We'll get them out one way or another. So like
exactly. But they can't stop you on foot. Like, just keep like walk over there to them. Like, I remember participating in the protests in DC, and it was great because like, oh yeah, we're down by the Capitol, but then all of a sudden they started moving us back by 8th Street, and I'm like, no, I don't want to move back by 8th Street. I'm trying to go up 7th, to the Mass Avenue.
Push you where the black folks live. You go right to Trinidad.
Like, right, exactly. I'm like, no. I want to go up there, because if my people can't sleep, you don't get to sleep. You don't get to do that. Like, period.
They're gonna start riding in Georgetown. Brunch would be.
There's gonna be some shit. Then
brunch would be over real soon.
Right.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
I got a random question for y'all, because I know y'all do a lot of girl guide. Listen, how y'all feel about Kevin Samuels?
How we feel about Kevin Samuels?
Oh, Kevin Samuels.
Go ahead, Christy. Christy,
So
yeah.
I don't know much about him.
Let her talk. She's the eligible bachelorette or whatever he's.
I don't know much about him. I was supposed to watch a video on him and I didn't. But from what I've heard, I hear he says pretty problematic things about women. Like, I've heard he thinks you gotta be at like a higher level or standard or quality to get high quality men. It just sounds like it's very what's the word I'm looking for? Like chauvinistic. Is that the proper term? It just sounds like it's tearing a woman down and not building her up. And so from what I've heard, that's what women typically feel like. Like, I'm not worthy of a certain type of man because I don't have these certain type of things, or I have kids, or I don't have a certain type of career or drive a certain car. So I think I saw something on social media today. I think it was him and Joe Budden. And they were saying it was some hashtag they were using. And I was like,
first off, the fact that you associate yourself with Joe Budden in a relationship conversation has me raising my eyebrow all the way.
Are you dumb? Stop. Okay, like, seriously.
That right there.
Let me see if I can find it.
While Christy's finding it, I just feel like I don't need another man telling me again like what I'm supposed to be. I know that he comes from the church, and from my understanding, the church kind of like excommunicated him or didn't allow him to grow in the church. And I think his audience, unfortunately, are a lot of Black women that go to church seeking some sort of validation. And I feel like oftentimes in the church, what we do is, rather than like empowering a woman, we dictate what she needs. Like, we kind of nitpick and want to mold her into something. I personally don't listen to him because his values don't match my values, but I do know, and I do notice that there are quite a few men that repost his stuff. And that makes me think like, oh, okay, so what y'all really thinking? You know what I mean? Like, to be a high power woman or attractive woman, like, am I supposed to be a certain size? Am I supposed to, have a certain job? Am I not supposed to have kids? Like, I just see a lot of men posting that. Admittedly, the men that I do see posting it are not men that I would consider high value, if I'm completely honest. So I understand why they would subscribe to that. So I think it's just up to the person.
I also
So I was just gonna say
it's like oh, sorry, go ahead, Christy.
So I was gonna say, I looked at the post, and Joe Budden said, well, this made for an interesting conversation. Who knew? High value men vibes.
First off, high value needs to come all the way out of that conversation because
Joe does not even talk about nothing about no high value.
First off, exactly. I'm gonna need you to have a seat in the back with no flashlight because you're doing the most. But I think my issue, a couple of issues I have, but I would say if you have an opinion, there is a way to voice your opinion without bringing someone else down. And that is the one thing that I just can't stand about Kevin Samuels is you clearly have an opinion about what you think is right. But the fact that you got to sit there and tell this woman that she's trash, that she's this, that she's that, she's not skinny enough, she's not this enough, she's not that. You don't got to break her down to tell her your opinion. You can still have that conversation without diminishing her as a woman and as a person. And the fact that men get up here and proclaim themselves to be these like speakers of relationships and men's views on certain things, and then trashing a woman like that, I just think that's crazy. There's no way that you can sit there and call yourself a grown ass, high value ass man saying all this stuff. And I really hope you have a daughter. So then when your daughter sees you, you can see exactly how you treat women, because that's really what's going to happen, because you're going to instill in your daughter all this stuff. And then when someone comes across and does what you have done to her, you're going to really feel that.
All right.
But
I appreciate
the men think. I'm
going to say, I appreciate everything you all just said there. What's crazy to me, or what's ironic about Kevin Samuels, is unlike the other guy, the other clown we just talked about on our episode, Reg, Derek Jackson, he's just straight clown. But unlike him, Kevin Samuels honestly says some things that I'm like, hey, he on point with that. It's not a whole lot of it. It's like a small amount of it. But some things he says is on point. His delivery is terrible. It's terrible. Like you just said, Courtney, he tries to diminish people when he does it. The craziest part about it is his following doesn't drop. He's doing it for a reason. The women who keep coming back on there, they want that. You can't say they don't want it because they keep going. When he did it to the first girl, and you've seen it, and then you go on there and you say you want to find you a man, you know what he about to ask you. And I've only seen two Kevin Samuels like interview or talk. One of them I seen, it was the girl from North Carolina, I think, and she was making over $100,000, and she had her own business. I think she had a child, and she's like, I think I deserve this, which is cool. You can think you deserve whatever you want. And when he started breaking down categories that men look at, attributes that men look at, that he knows of, because every man is different. Just like you said, if he's a church going man, the church going man looking for something different than, a guy who's still partying right now. Because like I have friends, we're in different places in our lives. So you're looking for different things. So he's giving one perspective. But when he gives the overall perspective of, oh, well, you saying you want $100,000 dude, but then you say, okay, you got to factor in whatever baggage you have. Like you said, the things that he told her were probably absolutely correct. The way that he told her was horrible. That's why he'll never get paid to be a counselor of somebody's. Well, he probably will get paid because clearly the women going in and they paying him, but he's not going to be like a psychiatrist trying to help anybody. But that's the craziest part, is that people keep going back asking for it. It's like a drug. He's giving you all that you want on social media. He's giving you like real wives of, Atlanta type vibes, but just because he's coming right at you. And honestly, he reminds me of like just a random dude from a Real Housewives of Atlanta type vibe. Like he reminds me of the drama that the women bring on that show. And it's like, he's bringing it from the male perspective, coming in with the lights all dim and you're not going to come on my show. And like, nigga, if you don't stop, like he just be on that joint putting on a show and folks be eating it up. I could do his show. If all I had to be was an asshole and just talk to women any way you want. It's just crazy because I can't randomly talk to women like that. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard to do that when you have a mother, a sister, you got nieces. Definitely if you got a daughter, it's like that's hard to like speak down on women like that. That's bro, you don't feel no type of way.
I just, the only thing I don't like Quick said, he's speaking from one perspective, but speaking about it like it's in absolutes. Like all these type of men that you're looking for that make this amount of money are this. This is what they're looking for. He, by law averages, he's gonna be correct. Like Quick said, some of the stuff he's saying is correct. Quick disagree with me, but I compared him to Derek Jackson in that respect. And I think that's why people listen to him, because it's all good hustlers, all good liars put the truth in it. So Derek Jackson is speaking in absolutes. The reason why his following was so crazy, and I hated him. We did that episode. Go back and listen to it years ago. My fiance, then my girlfriend, Derek Jackson said, and she was like, "Why don't you like him? Because he got muscles?" Like, no, I don't like him because he's hustling. You can always spot a bullshitter. You know what I'm saying? If he's speaking only in absolutes, he's not speaking in ways to bridge the gap. He's only if your man is not around and all he want to do is play PS5, as the example I gave on our previous episode, and then he got all our girlfriends staring at us in the back of our head when we playing the game, when whole time you speaking in absolutes and you're not even living by it. So that's how I can spot a BSer. So in Kevin Samuels' regard, it's not that he's speaking mistruths, but he's speaking from a perspective that maybe a lot of men share, or what you deem as high value. I told my fiance the other day, I'm high value. No, I'm not rich, or I'm not, but the values that I hold forth, the values that I teach my children, I hold in high regard, that I'm high value. So I'm not, when I hear that, it's like, I'm not going to let you disregard me as non-high value or this or that because I'm this height, or I don't, or whatever, I don't make this amount of money. Like, you speaking from a perspective that exists. It's what he deems as high value. It's men out here that do that, but it's also men that of that stature that don't do that. So that's why I don't like him. It's not that he's not speaking truth. He's speaking to the people that probably follow that philosophy, but not, he's speaking about it as though that is the only philosophy. And that's what I don't like.
Right.
Yeah,
I totally agree.
I do want to, I'm not defending him, but I do want to say that men do call his show and he does give it to them in the same way. Okay. So just, I'm just putting that out there because I don't like him, but whatever. If you want to listen, you should listen. I do want to know though, from the both of you all, because you both have said that he is speaking truth. Both of y'all have said that there's some truth. I would like to know what part is true.
Yeah, so a lot of, from what I've seen, the two that I've seen, women come on there saying what they want, what their standard is, and then never put in consideration of what they bring to the relationship. So when like the woman who was from Carolina making 100,000, she said she wants a man who makes over $100,000. The average income in North Carolina is like $40,000. Like I'm gonna look it up because I don't want to just say it and be wrong. But average income in NC, average income in North Carolina, oh my goodness, for individual is $28,000. The average income in North Carolina for a household is $54,000. So, like, exactly, and she makes 100,000 on her own, and she wants a man who's single, who's single, ready, and looking for a relationship, who wants to marry, who also wants a woman who owns a dog company. So that means she's going to smell like dogs, and has a child with a baby father who doesn't, who's not in the child's relationship. Those were all the things that he was bringing up. And he's like, look, you bringing all of this in, but you saying you want a man that's $100,000. She didn't say I need a God-fearing man. Like her priorities, the first thing she said was that. And the thing about him like telling her stuff is like, yeah, the only thing he can speak to is what you spoke to first. And the first thing she brought up was $100,000. And then he let her know, hey, in your state, the likelihood of somebody making $100,000, he said it was 10% of men who who make over $100,000, period. And then you're talking about who's available in looking. So, you know, when you have your category as this small of a percentage, and you're not factoring anything that you're bringing in, yeah, like he had a point to say, hey man, it's unrealistic. Because he told her, he said, what's wrong with an average dude? And she's like, I'm above average. I expect more. It's like, okay. But like Rez just said, if your qualities, if you deem different qualities as high value, you may find what you're looking for. But some of these people who are calling them, clearly they watch him, so they know what to expect, and they know they've already heard all of the knowledge that he can possibly give. Because it's not like he's saying something different every time somebody calls him. He say the same stuff over and over. And it's like, if you call him back in, like, you want to get your ass cussed out.
Right.
You period. And you just trying to go ahead and like be seen on camera. So it's like, sometimes I feel bad for him just because it's a chick there and you can see her like getting beat up. It's like,
Yeah.
Don't tell no woman she can hit the A gap like a running back, because like Quick said, if my daughter, I don't care how my daughter look, if I see another grown man saying that to my daughter and I see you, it's gonna be a problem. You know what I'm saying? Or family member, cousin, don't matter. Like you could have said that without saying it, but like Quick said, you have to do that because you're regurgitating the same stuff. It's the same type of people calling you. Mm-hmm. So you got to amp up the insult to get your following up. That's the intrigue, is the insult. The very first one I ever seen was him saying, come on, man, don't make me tell you. You're a 4 at best. Man, please don't make me tell you that you're a 4. It's the very first one. I had never seen him before that one.
She gave herself a 6. She said, I'm like a 6.
She gave herself a 6.
Yeah, she was already starting off wrong. But that's it's sad. And I know we can't really go into it here. But I really would like us to come back to really have this deep conversation, because I get really upset in clubhouse rooms when, you know, we keep having, especially when it's the conversation about like, why are so many good Black women single? And it gets into this idea of like, well, y'all didn't and we didn't, and like that's not really productive. You know what I mean? Like the conversation, like the fact that he has such a following of Black women who, at least from the conversations I've seen, who do seem like they have it somewhat together, but still feel like they're a 6. You know what I mean? Like that is a whole issue of just like what, like of how Black women and Black men have just been torn down, you know, and it sucks that we tear each other down. And even when I think about the woman that says she wants someone that makes over $100,000, I don't necessarily think, because I'm a person who has said that, you know what I mean? Like, well, maybe not over $100,000, but over a certain amount, right? I'm also a woman who, you know, brings what I ask to the table. But I feel like when she's saying that, it's not really the money. But I think that's what people think, like, oh, it's about the money, but it's really about what $100,000 affords you. Like, she wants someone that she can probably do certain travel activities with, stuff like that. I don't know.
The thing about $100,000, it don't do nothing if you got $140,000 worth of debt.
Hello.
So people always like to say what these numbers are, but if somebody make $40,000 with no debt, he doing way better than somebody making $100,000 with a bunch of student loan debt. Like nobody like thinks about that. It's like how much disposable income you got, bruh.
Yeah,
that's the conversation. Like even women who got a lot of money, like it's the same. Man, I be seeing single women going on vacations every month. I'm like, man, they are living the life. And then they give it a dude who make more money. If he ain't traveling like you traveling, it's because his money ain't like your money. Like, don't think because he make a certain amount of money, he got a whole bunch of it, because that's not how it works.
I agree with that. And I think that has to be part of the conversation, because clearly financial management is not a value for her. You know what I mean? So like that's what I'm saying. Like that's where the conversation comes in at, of like, what are your values? And that is not a value for her.
I wanted to ask y'all real quick, why do y'all think that men like Kevin Samuels and the other self-proclaimed relationship gurus, I'm not going to name them, why do y'all think they attract such a following from women? And I think more so for Rashawn and Courtney, like, why don't women listen to other women? Like, why don't you have a woman who is telling her story about how she met her man with the values that she wanted and what she did? I mean, I know everybody's story is different and you can't model your life, your love life or whatever after somebody else, but why don't we have like certified therapists giving advice and having the following to guide people into healthy relationships or the relationships that they're looking for? Like, why do these men attract that? And then why don't women? This is something my husband always says, like, women don't support women. Why don't we have women who are following other women who have gotten the type of man that they wanted?
I can't answer that because my therapist is a woman, is a Black woman. The person I get married, the people I get marriage relationships are Black women. One is sitting right over here. Okay, like I can't relate. Like I mean, I do listen to some men, but I just feel like, I mean, I'm a woman, so I would prefer to talk to another woman and
but
do the work.
I also think I agree. Like, y'all know me, I'm definitely a woman supporter. And if y'all haven't checked out my episode where Christy shares her story, y'all better go check it out because she talks about it. So I think women who listen to men do that is because they think they're going to get the realest, honest perspective from a man to know how to approach another man to be able to get the man. Like, that's the only thing I can think of. Either you are looking at this man because he's going to give you what you need to hear to be able to take it to the next guy that you meet and get in a relationship, or you just feel like, or maybe some people feel like the advice that they're getting from other women, they don't feel like they're deserving enough of it, or they don't feel like they are where them women are, so they don't feel like they can relate. Like, I don't know. I really don't know, but I think it's the first one. I really assume that women who listen to this really go to these men for advice because they are a man, so they feel like they're going to give them the advice that men.
I think they got low self-esteem.
Oh, that's
it. I mean, that's the thing, and they want that because somewhere in their life, people have torn them down. That's what they're used to, and that's exactly what they're going to hear. Because there's no man in my life that, even if I were to go to him and ask them, like, why am I single? There's no man in my life who actually cares about me, who's going to deliver a message like that, like, period.
But I have a couple of friends who said that they do go to men because they feel like men is going to give them the realest advice. And because they are a man, they feel like that's the best way to go.
Yeah, and I've known plenty of women who just don't trust other women just because she be hating, and like it's like it's a thing. I don't know why that's a thing, but women, hey, I know, Reg, I know you probably done heard that before. Women like, I don't even keep a lot of girls around me because they be and hey, that's just it is what it is, because I used to get a lot of relationship advice from women. So that's how I am who I am, because of the type of relationship advice that I got, good, bad, or indifferent. So, and it's more of probably a comfort zone of why people get their information from where they get them. I honestly think they're doing it because they want a cheat code, and they think I'm going to go here and I'm going to get the cheat code to how to get a man. I'm going to listen to him. He's going to tell me exactly how it goes. And it's like anything else. It takes work. And you have to find, I always talk about this, man. Episode 2, whole phase. Check it out if you got time. But I always talk about the whole phase. And it's like, if you have to find the right person at the right time, it may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but when you find that right person, if they're ready and you're ready, y'all gonna be good. It has nothing to do with who you met in the past or what you got going on, or your list. No, it don't got nothing to do with your numbers or anything. It's the right person at the right time. Like, bro, and that's as easy as it gets, because honestly, I found my wife and I wasn't looking for her, but it was just the right person at the right time. Definitely, if you're a person of faith, it's like, don't get in your own way, worrying about what didn't work, what could have been. Because, hey, if it didn't work, it was for a reason. And it's like, You're going to find the right person, and honestly, stressing about it and thinking somebody else going to tell you what to do to get the right person, you already setting yourself up. Reg said it best. If your girl's staring at you in the back of your head while you playing the game because somebody else done told her he doing something wrong because he doing that, you already messing up. Because if you want to know what he doing, just ask him. And people don't want to have those real conversations in relationships. Stop dating people. And this is just me I'm gonna give a little advice. Stop dating people, women, if when you have that conversation early on, you ask him where this going, and he say, man, I'm just chilling. Stop thinking it's going to change after that. It's not.
Can you repeat that? And can you repeat that for the people in the back? Repeat that again and slower, because yes, come on.
If you date a man and he's telling you, I'm just chilling, that's exactly what he's doing. A man tells you exactly how he feels and exactly what he's doing and exactly where he's going. Don't.
And to add to that, it's nothing wrong. That's actually the right thing for him to do. So what ends up happening is we become it. That's where all that miscommunication is.
You
Going
become
back
an
to Chris's
asshole.
original question. Yeah, I gotta be an asshole, or not me, but the guy gotta be an asshole because he said I'm just chilling. Now it's if the woman is looking for a different result, then it's up to that woman to say, well, I ain't trying to just chill. And then, even though you might like them, and if it's meant to be, then later on, when, like Quick said, when it lines up and it's right and he's ready and she's ready, it'll line up. Or that woman and that man are going to find that person that it's time. But it's so many obstructions that I believe that's why I don't like the whole Kevin Samuels talk, because it's all obstruction talk, even though it's true because it exists. These obstructions have been created through time, through whatever, social media, however. But an obstruction of a list of $100,000, college educated, which is nothing wrong with preferring or wanting that. But when, like you said, you make your target this big, now you that high, the real, what I deem is the real high value, you tricking yourself out of that, and then it's even harder because you got to find that person with that value that's also ready at the same time as you. But it's all about communication. You just got to know. So in terms of like what Chris was saying with the guys, from a guy's perspective, the reason why they might follow somebody like that is because they are doing the same thing the women is doing. They look at Kevin Samuels. When I look at Kevin Samuels, and he says he's an image consultant. If you go back, and Chrissy said she listened to our last couple episodes, me and Darian got into it bad because I'm a big on qualification. Show me the data of what you've done for me to listen to what it is that you're saying. You say you're an image consultant. Well, where's your resume? Who do you work for? What image have you improved? So that's a strike anyway. Don't even mean you're not speaking truth, because everybody got to start somewhere. But I'm starting there. Okay, you a rookie to me because I can't see your resume. Secondarily, these men see how he's dressed and what's on his website. I went to the website and everything. Like, I really checked them out. And they like, I want to be cool like him. And it's about being cool instead of the value. And then the woman is also looking for the cool and whatever they deem is cool, or in other words, high value. And they're looking for that. And then, it's all you misdirecting yourself. So they go on there and like, man, I want a bad chick, or I'm trying to get my confidence up. And he's giving them some stuff that is true that can adhere to them getting their confidence up. But he's instilling a value in what you need to do. And I work at McDonald's and I'm 5'3", and I'm trying to get a woman, like, yeah, that's a true statement. Just like what Quick said about the woman is a true statement. You only gonna go but so far working at McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? That's true. But don't say you gotta go and create this checklist for yourself to get someone of high value, because that's not a true statement to me. But it's true for a large subset of people. And I think that's why people gravitate towards it, because it was created as this normal standard. And he's pushing that normal standard. And that's what I don't like. It's okay for the people that delve in those values to do that. Y'all lining up in values. That high value man, what you deem as high value, deems that as a high value woman. Y'all never gonna find each other. If it's like hitting the lottery, if you do. If you find a high value woman, a high value man, and mix like that, it's like hitting lottery. And most of the time, those are celebrities because they got the money, they got all the stuff, and it mixes well. And that's also like hitting the lottery. So
And then they shit don't be working out. So
right, exactly.
But why do you all think that like you all having this conversation, right? Because I have participated in some good conversations with some men, but admittedly, even men that I'm close to, it has been somewhat feeling like some Kevin Samuels. Like, why do you think that what you all are saying isn't getting like the same amount of traction and following? Like, what is it that as a society we don't want to listen to, or like what is it? Like, why isn't it selling?
Nobody wants to be alone. Like, nobody wants to be alone. There are people who've been in relationships that they know are not good for them, and they just stay there. And I'm not saying that everybody does it because they don't, but we all been in situations that we knew we shouldn't have been in, and we just rode it for a while. And then after a while, that becomes almost like our norm. It becomes a comfort zone. And us as human, we appreciate that comfort zone. Going outside of your comfort zone is hard work. So, and the thing about us working hard on something like that, you're like, damn, I got to work 40 hours at work. I got to work out at the gym. I got to do this. The least I could do is, I don't know what type of audience we got. The least I could do is have somebody have some sex with me. Like the least I could do. I keep him around because shit, even though he make me feel like shit sometimes, they be ignoring me, but I keep him around. At least I'm gonna get that. And it's like, sometimes, like when you get out your own way, it'll help. But I can't. And all I'm saying is, a lot of times people gonna hear you, and they may even agree, but they're gonna be like, "Shit, what? You're not alone on Friday night by yourself dealing with it."
Well, also we, me and Quick is married. I just got engaged, so this is stuff that we've learned recently. Thank you. I got engaged last summer, so it's been a little while, but it's stuff that we're learning, still learning, I'm sure. I'm not speaking for Quick as we go along, but also we had to develop these skills later in life. A lot of people don't come up being taught how to communicate XYZ, and then you base it on your first initial interaction in a relationship. Normally for most people is high school, right? So that's your foundation, that's what you base it off, and then it evolves from there. Might go to college, or you enter into your late teens, early 20s, and you basing it on that mentality, and then you might make what some deem as a mistake, or the dating phase, or the whole phase, or what, but they don't realize that's what they're doing because they weren't taught that how your communication is supposed to evolve over time. So the hope is that as we learn, this generation learns that we could pass that type of communication, even though they ain't always going to get it right. It's going to be immaturity, but you're planting the seed early on. This is how you're supposed to communicate, so that when they're ready, they're fully mature to start communicating that way. They have a foundation to
With
go
the
off.
kids,
Whereas
right?
us, we was freestyling.
You talk.
Darren, I don't know what happened. I think you press mute again, but yeah.
My bad. Like starting it off with the kids, right? Getting them, make sure they understand how to communicate with others and in relationship. And that a lot of us probably had parents who was working a lot too. You don't have time to develop those true relationship skills. And in our generation of parents, not all of them, but speaking in a general sense, wasn't comfortable with having those conversations about relationship, sex. They'll talk to you about don't do drugs, but nobody say, well, if you do it like this, or don't have sex, but if you do it like this. Some parents were willing to have that. Like my mom ain't talked to me about that until I was like 19. Hey, you know you're supposed to use protection. Yeah, I know. What you think I've been doing? And it's like you got to be willing to have those conversations. And like you said, Rich, if you get the children understanding about relationships are built like this, and it's all relationships. People don't understand. Even when you're talking about when you're at work, when you're doing something like this, you've been on one of these things where people get on Zoom and they don't say nothing, and you're like, hey, are you really in class? It's like, I don't hear you say anything. You're not participating. And it's like, it's the same thing about a relationship. Are you really in it? Are you participating? Are you communicating with your partner? Do they know when you're mad? Do they know when you're happy? And if you're having trouble with that with your friends and your family, you're going to have those same troubles with your loved ones. Try to have those hard conversations with family members, and see how that goes. But so no, I totally agree with you, Reg. Definitely start early on, because that's a place where I think we were deficient with the last generation raising us, with getting in depth with those conversations. Because I feel like kids these days, if they trust you, they'll open up and they'll talk about anything. Like, look, I don't feel I don't think I should have been born like this. I am this, and they'll express that. But we can't go back to how our parents were and say, well, then there's something wrong with you. It's like, then you'll close off that line of communication, and you want them to be able to talk to you. It's like they're going to want to be able to talk to their mate when it becomes time. Like you said, we went through our 20s just BSing relationships. Like, we here, but you ain't really, we just rapping. Like, what are we really doing? Like, nobody could explain what they was doing in their 20s. I don't know why I was doing that, but we was doing it. Like,
yeah, that's where the hurt too comes from, where you have like women and men who are, just like, when I'm in those conversations, I just hear a lot of hurt, like, and it's just really sad, because I don't know exactly how to just give everybody a hug, but I definitely agree. You definitely need that communication, and chances are you struggle with it, as you said, in all areas: your friendships, your professional relationships, your family.
Yeah, this has been good, y'all. This has been a really good conversation. I feel like we could go on for hours and hours. We need to have a part 2 to this.
I feel like we need to open up the VIP section again.
Yes, we'll invite y'all back into VIP.
Get into this again. Yes.
We'll give y'all a little lanyard and everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're gonna have to send bottles of Mumbo Sauce to everybody.
We're gonna get the laminated pass.
Yeah, limited pass,
Can somebody send me a bottle of Mumbo Sauce? I swear I'll try it. I promise.
Yeah, look, next time you go to the DMV, Rashana, you need to hook Courtney up.
I know. Come on, tell her, because she's supposed to be my friend. I can hear you. You on mute.
You need to do it all: the chicken wings, the Mumbo Sauce, the fried rice.
You gotta work on communication with your friends.
You're on mute, right?
Rashana doing that on purpose. She on mute talking.
I'm on mute. Look at God. But all I'm saying is, as a person, especially in grad school, and that's where Courtney and I met in grad school, I lived off of Danny's. So I don't understand how she never had that experience with the Mumbo Sauce, because that's all I was eating, like
you was in a whole different area though.
Like I said, because
I was in the hood.
Courtney was like in Bethesda.
Oh, that ain't no Danny's. That ain't no Danny's. That's Daniel's. You was at Daniel's.
At Daniel's.
Daniel Chin. I got a full name on that job.
Exactly.
You gotta go to Eddie's or Danny's.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
Next time. Yeah.
Next time. And it's funny because when people come, that's like normally something that we eat now. Like when people come to visit me, I'm like, oh, let's go to Danny's. I want to show you and I like the spicy shrimp fried rice, which is crazy because let me tell y'all Chinese food though is not real Chinese food. We'll have to talk about that later. It's I don't know what that is, but I do like the spicy food.
It's curry out.
Yeah, no, it's only chicken wings.
It's curry out.
Steak and cheese.
No,
you get American food at our carryout. Yes, American food.
No. So see, in Boston, we are a segregated city. So if you go, Chinese people make Chinese food. That's it. They ain't frying no fish. They ain't frying no chicken. They ain't making no subs. Okay, you want a sub, you go to the black people that make the black subs, or you can go to Italians. Italians make good subs. Mm-hmm. Okay, like it's very like segregated like that. If you want fried chicken, you can go to the soul food spot with the black people, or you can go to the Middle Eastern spot because they own the New York fried chicken, the country fried chicken, all of that. So that was all
thing I say about it. Everything you just named, you can get from the carry out.
Which I thought was weird.
Hold on. You get all them sandwiches, plus you can get some wings. You can get some cigarettes. You can buy some roll ups because the dude outside selling weed. So you good.
Who's
You
the oil
get
guy? Who's
everything you
the
need.
oil?
Hey, and I'm sure some of them sell some bid too. So you straight.
That was
Great.
so
One
weird
stop
to me.
shop.
I did not eat at a carry out for like months when I moved here because I was like, I don't trust it. Like I don't understand why this rice is yellow. But I get chicken wings and fries. And I do like the
My
spicy
last,
shrimp
my
fried rice.
last question was,
think-
hold on. Do you eat Cheesecake Factory?
Not really, but I have. I mean,
But Cheesecake Factory menu is just like a carryout menu. You get anything on there.
That is so true.
Dang, you gotta put it to perspective.
You're right. You're right. Their menu is like 7 pages.
That is
So
so
we
true.
normally end our show by talking about what we watched during the week. We started this podcast in the inception of the pandemic. It was like maybe 1 week before the real quarantine started. So we didn't have nothing to do but watch TV. So we normally end what we watching. I go first. I'm still watching the same things. My series not over yet. I watched the Tina Turner doc. That's a 1 episode. Watch that. They only get on Ike for 15 minutes. That's why it took me so long to watch it, because I wasn't trying to watch What's Love Got to Do with it in documentary form. But they gave Ike a good 15 at the beginning, and it was all Ike. So it was interesting. I'm still watching the Winter Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So I'm a big Marvel person. So that's my every Friday while I'm supposed to be working. I'm watching that. And Mayans, which is a violent, it's a Sons of Anarchy spinoff, which our listeners know is like my favorite all-time show when that was coming on however many years ago. The only show was appointment television where I had to watch it when it was on TV. I couldn't watch it the next day or whatever. But that's a spinoff of that. That's in season 3. If you like violence, you like that. So check it out.
Cool. I'm definitely advocate for the Tina Turner. That was a really good one.
I gotta watch it. Go ahead, Rashonda. What you watching?
Oh, I am watching Queen Sugar. That is my show. It comes on OWN. Y'all know I'm a huge Ava DuVernay fan. That is my show. And they are currently capturing the pandemic. And I love how they're doing it. Like not just strict, like they're really talking about the intricacies of just everything, race, politics, your own mental health. Just is dope. I love Ava DuVernay, Queen Sugar. Of course, I have to mix my ratchet in there. So I'm up on Married to Medicine and Real Housewives of Atlanta. I definitely watch those. So those are probably that and This Is Us. Those are the 4 shows that I watch faithfully every week. I also just watched them this weekend. I would say watch it for yourself. And I watched Concrete Cowboys, which is on Netflix, which is about the Fletcher Street equestrians in Pennsylvania that like gentrification has continuously tried to move them out. It's actually pretty cool. And it's a true story, and there's a nonprofit, so you can look up the Fletcher Street something on Instagram and, donate to really try to keep that type of program in the community, where kids you can learn a lot from taking care of horses and riding horses. So I think that is all. Oh, Family Reunion. That's also on Netflix. I know it's with Tia Mowry and Loretta Devine, and it's corny, but if you just want like something that's like a feel good show, watch that. And Schitt's Creek. That's my other one.
Like
That's funny.
Full House. That's what I think it is. The Black Full
Yeah,
House.
yeah. It's corny. Like you don't have to like really watch it to really know what's going on. Yep. And Schitt's Creek, whatever it is, that's a good one too.
So I can go ahead and go. I started watching them also yesterday, and I had to take a break because I've been watching a lot of Black trauma shows and movies lately. I also watched Two Distant Strangers on Netflix. I definitely would recommend watching that. I think it's only about 30 something minutes.
38 minutes.
Yeah. But yeah, so I watched that the day before, and then I started them, and there's a very traumatic episode that I just had to take a break from. So I don't know when I'm going to pick that up. On the flip side, I started watching Aretha on National Geographic about Aretha Franklin. So that's been interesting because I don't really know too much about her life other than what Wikipedia says. So it's been pretty interesting watching that. I think I'm on like episode 2. One thing about me is I don't really be finishing shows like that. So hopefully I finish it. I be starting a season and then I don't finish it. And then same like Rajana said, you know, Real Housewives of Atlanta and Married to Medicine, which is slow. I think I don't know if I'm gonna finish that out.
Yes.
So that's it for me.
Oh, I forgot Married to Medicine came back on. I need to catch up on it.
You ain't missing nothing.
Oh, I ain't got no cable anyway, so
I thought you gotta get the passwords.
I know. I'm still waiting for you to give me the passwords.
Oh, did you send me an email? Did you send me a text about that?
No, we had this conversation like 3 times. Anyway, but I do stream like NBC, CBS, and all of the like local basic stuff. So I can watch that. So if you know me, you know Wednesday nights are just I turn my phone on D&D at 7:30 because I watch all of the Chicago shows on Wednesday nights. That is my thing. I'm a huge Chicago PD fan. So if you call me on a Wednesday, you will not get me until Thursday morning. Just FYI. I also have started Snowfall because I heard that was really good. So I only got to episode 1. So I gotta find time to just like binge it and get into it. But the first episode seemed pretty good. So I'm excited about that. I also
forget about Snowfall every week. I forget about that every week. We watch it faithfully, and every week until you said that, I forgot about it. Snowfall,
yeah, I gotta watch it. So it's the 4th season, so I got a lot of catching up to do. I just renewed my Disney subscription because I need to get into all the Marvel shows. I'm a huge Marvel fan. I just didn't want to pay the money for Disney, but I gotta suck it up and pay the money for Disney. I gotta get on the subscription, so I will be starting that. I also started watching Snowpiercer. It's interesting. It takes a minute to get into, so if you are thinking about watching it, you got to get to like episode 3 or 4 for you to really think that it's a really good show. And then my other show that I watch faithfully that's coming back is Queen of the South, and it's the last season. So that is coming back, and I'm super excited. But other than that, that's all I got. And I watch Chicago PD reruns all day, so I'm boring, but that's
all right. That's funny. So for me, I watched 2 Distant Strangers too. Luckily, you didn't hear my dog barking in the background the whole time we've been on here, so it was very emotional for me to watch that. I really felt the way about that one. I know when my wife hears this, she'll be like, "What you watch? What?" I don't think she watched that with me. No, I can't remember if she did. Like now, it's weird because if I watch something without her, it's like it's like you cheating. You can't watch TV without your significant other. So I only talk about stuff that I watch with her on the podcast. Something else that I guess I watched. Dang, I wanted to talk about it too. Okay, there's a show on HBO that just started. I think it's about to be a good one. HBO always are like hitting home runs, and it's called the Never. I think that's what it's called, the Nevers. It's kind of based in London, in little older times, and I'm comparing it almost like the X-Men, because they have powers. And in the first episode, and there's black people in it, so I like that. They had to have people, black folks in the show. And like the first episode, it was just a pilot, so they're only coming out every, I think, Friday now, which is rare now. Being in the pandemic, we're used to just watching something all the way through. So, as we watched it, my wife's like, play the next one. I'm like, come out till next week. So we got to wait for this series to kind of run. But it was really good. Like if you were in, what was that thing on Netflix recently? They had, they were like in London, and, the black guy was like,
The Circle.
What?
Say it again.
You talking about The Circle?
No, not
he was the pickpocketer.
I can't remember the name, but basically it's like, you know, they're back in like the 1700s in London, and it's a really good show and it's well put together. Just thinking about like Sherlock Holmes mixed with the X-Men. People have, you know, small amount of powers. It just was very interesting, I'll say the least. So the Nevers is going to be kind of my show watching. I also watch, like Reg said, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Episode 4 was really good. I like that they incorporate some Black history, or at least bring like more Black people into the light with that show. I don't know if I watched anything else. Definitely watching Snowfall too. So I need to catch up. Red's probably ahead of me. I'm way ahead of Courtney though. Red, you ain't gotta be mad at me this week because I'm ahead of Courtney. I got her by like 3 seasons. But besides that, I did. Yeah, I seen like a small video of something from Game of Thrones, and I was like, bruh, I have to watch Game of Thrones again. Like, yeah, I've watched it all the way through like 4 times.
Oh my God, I can't get through that 4 times.
Yeah, that was when I started and I didn't finish, and I don't think I'm going back to it.
I finished it, but I just can't. I don't think I could watch it again.
Reg, I don't know if we're coming back to the club, Reg. I don't know if
Game of Thrones. You know, I cheated. There ain't got me on Game of Thrones, and I jumped in like season 3. I still haven't seen the first 2 seasons because I know what happened, so I'm cool.
No, oh, okay. Well,
I'd have probably been like Christy.
I'm the only Game of Thrones head here. It's fine. It's cool. I'll be by myself. Okay, I'll come to the club. I'm just not drinking.
You know what? You're gonna get the bottom shelf liquor in because you can't get the top.
That's fine. That's fine. I'll take sparkling water with lemon and lime so it looks like I'm drinking.
Okay, there you go.
Definitely
make it in there.
He's the person in the section making, you know, the DJ special requests.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He's definitely that
know.
in real life. You joking, but that's real.
I'm letting y'all know when the waitress come over, like, hey, she back. Y'all need something? Like, I'm handing the check over.
Yes,
I'm handing the checks over when they come. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go.
Yeah, no, you can go ahead and take care of that for us. Go ahead and
hey,
since he's a high value man,
the reason I'm a high value man is because I know how to pass the check to someone else. Like, I'm not devaluing myself buying drinks for women at the club.
Oh, crazy.
I'm done. I'm done.
We appreciate y'all.
Man. Right. Definitely appreciate y'all. This was very fun.
This was good.
Yeah, this was good.
Whenever it's safe to come back outside and y'all visiting down here, we're gonna have to do it in person. We're gonna have to facilitate that somehow.
Definitely.
Yes. And then you could order Danny's and then I can have it.
Look. Yeah, we're gonna have some mumbos. We're gonna have all the mumbo sauce the right way, right on tap for you.
Yes, thank you. Somebody looking out.
Least we can do. It's the least.
Yes.
Hey, we gotta throw it on the table. Like, enjoy yourself.
Right.
And we gotta have the Old Bay wings, okay? That's
honey Old Bay. It gotta be honey Old Bay.
Oh, I've never. Where do you get the honey? Oh, we'll have to talk. I don't know. We get the honey Old Bay.
I've never had honey Old Bay wings. I've had Old Bay wings.
Yeah, I never heard of that. And we need to have some crabs because you can't get no good crabs.
See, you've been gone too long. You about to. Your card about to be revoked.
Maryland crabs. I don't know.
Nah, my DMV card can never be revoked.
Wait, hold,
I know it.
What you just said about Maryland crabs, Courtney?
Look, I'm from New England where real seafood happens. I don't know what happens down in DMV. I'm just saying.
I am also from New England, but I have to say Maryland does make the best crabs.
Thank you.
Now,
Thank you,
like questionable, but I never had no crabs like that until I came to we don't even do crabs really. I mean, have you guys crabs at home?
Kobe.
We do lobster. We do lobster.
We definitely do lobster.
Yeah, we don't do the crabs there. We do lobster. Okay.
Lobster,
Maryland blue crabs are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Did he go like this?
Yes.
Because he was like, we do
lobster. My bad.
We do lobster. Okay. Yes, that's what we. Listen, growing up, right? It was like if somebody was like, "Oh, we want crabs," you'd be like, "Oh." Okay, all right, but the lobster is really weird.
You do the lobster.
Lobster. In black folks, if you had lobster, man, it was one of like two reasons: somebody graduating, or like it was a big deal for you.
Yeah, that's special occasion food right
them
there.
went on sale at Safeway for like $12 a lobster or something. Like, you didn't just have lobster here.
Nah.
That was not. Hey, mom got some lobster tail. What? What's the news? Like, lobster come with news, good or bad. They come with news.
Not coming news.
They come with news.
Oh my god.
Nobody from Maryland eating lobster without news attached to it. So somebody say we had lobster last night. You're like, damn, what happened?
What happened?
Yeah, I've actually never had lobster here. Now that I'm thinking of it, unless I've made it myself. But crabs, like even my dad, when he comes down, that's the first thing. Like he's like, I want to get my crab cake. I need my crab cake. Like he loves crab stuff.
Nobody's inviting you over in Maryland and offering you lobster. Period. Like nobody be like, hey, come on over. We cooking lobster.
That's the movie night. That's not the movie night food.
Yes, unless you come into my house. I do. Because we used to do a Labor Day crab thing.
We did.
But then Courtney moved, and then Christy moved, and it just.
I was about to say, I ain't never been offered no lobster at your house before.
No, not lobster. Wait. First of all. I was talking about crabs on Labor Day. And in terms of lobster, I mean, I have lobster, but when y'all come, we always go out to eat and things.
She's straight line. She just,
Well, next time we have a lobster, Courtney.
That's fine. That's fine. We can definitely do that. I can make y'all some lobster.
Are you gonna cook the lobster yourself? Or you gonna buy it?
No, I cook it myself from the.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, good.
I don't even know where I don't know where I would buy it cooked. Only thing I've seen here is cooked is like a lot of the personal chefs, like they fry them. I've seen and put stuff, but
yeah,
fancy.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't do all that. I'm strictly, with some nice marinated butter. There we go.
Okay.
Well, we're going to definitely do this again, and we're going to break bread. We're going to have some crabs, some mumbo sauce, some chicken, some fried rice. So
all from the carryout.
Yeah.
Right. You can get lobster sauce from the carryout. Don't lie.
No. The lobster sauce from the carryout to me is not good.
I never had it.
Yeah, no, from y'all's carryout is not good. It's not good. Now go to Boston.
Bro, I would never order that, Joe.
Yeah, don't order that, but go to Boston and get you some nice lobster sauce, okay, from the Chinese restaurant. Yes, that's it.
So you'll eat lobster sauce from the Chinese restaurant in Boston.
In Boston, because Chinese food, as Christy knows, as Christy's on this side, as Christy knows, okay, is something that is so different. Christy, please educate your friends.
Yes. I don't want no trouble.
Right. It's all good. It's all good.
It's just different. It's just
Christy gotta go, y'all. She like
right. Will
I'm waiting for her. Aren't you on the phone?
This is how we normally end it off. We always talk about what we watching and the way we always end it, man. We tell our fans we hope they enjoyed the sauce. So for you all, we hope you all at least enjoy having us on, because I know I'm probably speaking for both of us here, Reg. We really appreciate the invite, and it was a great time on here. I definitely hope we can do this again sometime.
Yeah. Let us know where and how can people find you.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Reg.
You can find us on Instagram and on Fanbase. Christy gotta go, so download the app Fanbase. That's all I'm gonna say. If you got an iPhone, download the app Fanbase. Follow us at Mumbo Sauce on everything. Right quick.
Yeah, at Mumbo Sauce on everything.
And at Mumbo Sauce on everything on Instagram. Also, I am an entrepreneur. I have my own brand of portable chargers and charging accessories. There it is right there. That's why he's my partner, because I don't even have one on hand, but that's one of my chargers. We have a vending machine here in the DMV that vends those out. But if you want, we ship. Yeah, we ship internationally and nationally. The website is shop The name of the company is Cargado, Cargado, shopcargado.com. And it's travel time. Outside is opening back up. And my chargers are universal, so it doesn't matter what you have. Headphones, smartphones, tablets. It's already been designed to handle any mobile device that we generally will carry around with you in your pocket. So definitely get those because vacation's about to starting back up, and that's it.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. And y'all can follow us at the 1000 Club Life, at 1000 Club Life. And that's on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. You can listen to us on Apple Music, Spotify, Anchor, wherever you listen to your podcast. I think that's the same for Mumbo Sauce on everything, right?
Apple Podcast.
Yes, definitely. Apple. You get us on Apple. If you are listening on Apple for both the 1000 Club podcast and Mumbo Sauce and everything, make sure you give us a 5-star rating, like, comment, subscribe, follow. You get an update as much as possible. With this, we're definitely going to be starting our YouTube channel, so you can see our handsome faces as much as possible. But no, like this was great. This was definitely great. Definitely 5-star rating. Anybody with Apple, give a 5-star rating. Even if you don't like us, leave a comment, say how trash it was with a 5-star rating. Appreciate you.
It's the 5-star club. Yes. Yes.
5-star chick.
I was just singing
that.
I knew you were gonna say that.
And last thing, if we promote stuff real quick, I don't know if y'all can see my shirt. Good Lord. But one of my good homeboys, his company, God is Big Enough. Just check him out on Instagram. It's literally God is Big Enough.
Hallelujah.
Yes, yes.
Always. And keep it right here on me just so you always reminded.
Awesome. All right, y'all. So we are done. This episode was great. Thank you guys for coming on and joining the club in the VIP section for this week's episode of the 1000 Club podcast. And y'all can check us out every other Thursday on all your streaming platforms, as Christy said. And with that, guys, we out.
Hope you enjoyed it.